Let's see. What's your best piece of advice for someone about to create a new business website? What's the number one thing we should be thinking about but probably aren't? That's a good question. So I think that one of the biggest things that people can miss, and it sounds really obvious, but it's very, very common that it's missed, is that especially let's say your homepage, that you get across the point. A lot of people get a little too caught up in the fluffy marketing and, having like a really powerful, catchphrase or kind of like these sort of big picture, but you're not really getting across the point of what do you do? I sell high quality headphones, right? Then you got to tell me that very clearly, that you sell high quality headphones, and get caught up in sort of the marketing and the visual of it, and the kind of having a big pretty site. That's one kind of, it's super obvious, but it's amazing how much people mess that up. The second is to make sure that you're telling your story. So I think that, separate from getting across the point very quickly so people don't hit the back button once they go to your site, kind of the previous point, the idea of making sure that you're telling your story. If you're an online store, there's a lot of online stores. You really have to tell me a story of why I should want to begin sort of a relationship with you versus Amazon, right? Amazon's competing with everyone. What makes it special? And I think that the third thing, and this is just a nitty-gritty practical one, really make sure, and going back to kind of trends, in general, is really make sure that your site works perfectly in, kind of your three type screen sizes of desktop, tablet, and mobile. Responsive design, which basically automatically adjusts navigation and page components based on what the screen size is a really great way to do that. It's like if you haven't seen that, if you go to wpromote.com and you can just be on your desktop or on your laptop or whatever, and you make your screen smaller. You can see as it hits certain thresholds, as you make it smaller horizontally, kind of to simulate what it would be on an iPad and an iPhone. You'll see the navigation shifts at one point. Elements kind of as they are less important get removed as the screen gets smaller, so that even at the very small screen size, I'm getting my most important point across, and that's just a practical thing. It's super important because the percentage of people that are accessing your site on a mobile device it's going to be really high. The good news is with responsive design, you don't need to keep. You need to design one site, and then you need to sort of pick the elements and the importance as the screen size changes. You don't have to go sort of quote build a mobile site. You're kind of doing that indirectly, but it's not like a completely separate process at this point, which I think is really cool.